I'm happy she cheated. Today is the 6-month anniversary of my D-Day. I tried for 4 long, incredibly painful and anxiety-filled months to save our 19-year marriage, but she just kept lying and cheating. So I gave up. After some annoying paperwork snags, the divorce should be final tomorrow. It's been a roller coaster from hell ever since D-Day. The first month or so was the worst time of my entire life. By far, no question. After that it was a series of false hope-ups and the subsequent downs. One of the best days of my entire life was when I told her it was over. What she did and who she did it with was no longer my problem. That felt/feels good. It changed my life quality in a way that's hard to describe. In a way that showed me for the first time that there were deeper trust issues than this affair. The divorce has been a major change, obviously. Sleeping by myself for the first time since 1997 has been an adjustment. Binge watching stupid shows isn't quite the same. Not having her for emotional support or to call when good or bad things happen had been very strange. Suddenly being single daddy to 5 young kids has kept me busier than hell. My ex is still just couch surfing at her AP's place, which doesn't have room for kids. So I have them all the time exclusively. A lot of things have been very hard. I've started dating a little and my only issue there is keeping things casual. It seems like women just want to fall in love and go exclusive immediately. I'm not ready for that yet. But it's nice to know there's a demand for me when I am ready to start looking for something serious. I'm a decent looking and fit 41-year-old with a good job who owns a house and has spent the last 6 months learning about himself, relationships, emotions, etc. I've looked into my end of the marriage issues and, even though her cheating is totally on her, can see where I can improve. The main thing going through my head today is that I'm glad it happened. I'm glad she cheated and I'm glad I finally chose to end it. I'm realizing that I wasn't as happy as I thought. Pre-affair, I thought we were incredibly happy. But with time and space between us, I'm seeing the flaws. The narcissistic way she behaved for the last 2 decades. The lack of emotion she always had. The way I had quit feeling and expressing emotions because they always hit a brick wall with her. The fact that I was always a giver and she never was. The way that she always pointed out how men hit on her. The fact that she never once apologized and always blamed everything but herself for things. Etc. All stuff I was willfully blind to for many years. Since removing her from our daily lives, the kids and I are already improving. Not just our relationship with each other, but our attitudes and behavior. We're happier, more open, and communicate much better than before. I truly thought I was happy before the affair and thought her cheating was the worst and most tragic thing ever. I was wrong. I almost want to thank her. Almost. Comment 1. Well done for reaching this point. I too felt the same when my ex left me suddenly and moved in with a woman from work. Only after did I realize our life wasn't as perfect as it looked from the outside and am much happier now and feel free. Comment 2. God, that is one of the worst parts for me. We'd have conversations about why she wanted a separation, and the best she could come up with was that I didn't use an alarm clock consistently enough, so waking me up made her view me as another child. If I asked for a better reason, she'd start stonewalling. It's easier now knowing she was stonewalling because she agreed to be someone else's slave. BDSM collar and weeboo fascination while pulling away from the kids and I. Comment 3. Buddy, thank you for this. Today is my 4-month anniversary of D-Day. I've also been fighting for my marriage for the past few months. And like you, I've been let down by her every time I've given her a chance to redeem herself. Around a week ago, I had an epiphany that my feelings for her have changed. I don't feel quite as angry with her, but I also don't love her anymore. She's become just another pedestrian on the street to me. Of course, the day after I had that epiphany, she asked me for one more chance. I agreed, but not because I'm still emotionally invested. I think it's just a morbid curiosity to see what happens this time. I won't be heartbroken this time when I catch her with him again. I'll just go file for divorce and casually hand her the papers. I will admit that she does seem more serious about it this time, but I'm still not expecting anything, and won't be disappointed by her failure. I'm glad to hear about your wade into the waters of dating. I get that you don't want to jump back into anything serious yet. I've been contemplating that future and I'm realizing the women I want to date are ones I'd like to get serious with someday. But I also know that, statistically, my first few relationships after divorce will be doomed no matter what. So I'm trying to play it cool with some of those women so I won't burn the bridges I want to cross when I'm ready to get back into something serious. I have a friend who recently divorced after his wife's affair and he told me that when it comes to dating at our age, I'm early 40s, there's lots of time but it's hard to find anything serious. I'm not sure that sounds promising. But I'm just going to take the time to get to know myself and my kid better, then I'll decide how to expand outward. Like you, I've already discovered some ways to improve myself, hopefully for the benefit of the next person I do get serious with. Cheers to you for being just a few steps ahead of me and sharing your status with those of us on your heels. Comment 4. Not burning bridges is where I'm trying to be right now. I've dated a handful of women and am texting with a few more. There are 2 in particular that I've dated and really liked. But I don't want them to be rebounds, so I've pulled away. One was hurt pretty badly but is trying to understand. The other didn't get close enough before I told her I need to go very slow, so she's not really hurt and still a great candidate. The shitty part is the fear that while I'm licking my wounds, they're still going to be looking around and possibly moving on. I can't expect them to just sit around waiting. Comment 5. Did my future self write this? Sounds like same age, good job, fit, house, even 5 kids. I'm not at the point of dating yet, but I've noticed women notice me during times I wasn't wearing my ring. I'm a little over a month past D-Day. I keep trying to work things out, but now she has switched to saying they were just friends. Even after admitting last month that she loved him. It's just lies and bullshit from her now. I am rapidly losing my interest in trying to work things out. I'm not done trying yet. But it feels like that emotional roller coaster phase you went through. I feel pretty close to where you have gotten to. I'm starting to feel happy she cheated. It makes everything clear to me. I feel confident for my future. It feels great knowing I am my kid's hero. Reading your story was inspirational. I'm going to save this and refer back to it over the upcoming months. Comment 6. Great to hear that you're doing so well this early. Feelings ebb and flow after a breakup. I remember your past posts. You've gone from calling her a selfless mother and person to a narcissist. Not doubting your perspective, but do realize that your epiphany might be a way to cope with a divorce. Meeting new and different women who desire you in a way your ex didn't during the months of her affair puts her in a super negative light. Don't get too caught up in diagnosing her. Keep journaling. Great decision on your part. If you and the kids have time for therapy, that along with your ex finding a stable living situation for herself is the next big thing. You're right that you are not ready for anything serious ATM. One of the best things you did was push for a divorce, which she granted with very favorable terms. A true narcissist wouldn't have the shame and guilt she had and could have easily wrecked it all for you. No need to justify the decision to divorce and taint the years you spent together in a bad light. She cheated, you divorced. Natural reaction to being cheated on. Simple as that. Comment 7. Finally, someone who understands that leaving someone, although difficult, is also liberating. I always believe that you fight for your love/marriage/relationship only if the other person is willing to do the same. When they're not, then it's the beginning of the end for anything, no matter if it's a relationship or marriage or even a friendship. And even if you try your best, usually it's like throwing water in the desert and trying to make a lake. In other words, impossible. As for cheating, I told my wife, whom I love more than life itself, that the second I catch her cheating, we're over and there's no going back. I don't give second chances to no one, as I don't believe in redemption, despite reading about a fair few successful cases of it. And that being said, let me tell you, as much as I love my wife and as much as I would be hurt, there's no doubt I would be from a betrayal. All I need is 6 months before I fall out of love and just 3 before I start dating again. That's it. I know my worth and I'm in a high demand in my country. Loyal, smart, fun to be around, average looking. At least that's how I see myself. Not very attractive but far from being ugly. Moderately wealthy. Not truly rich but slyly above middle class. And most important, I know how to play the game in both the long and the short term, and I'm willing to go to any lengths and do pretty much anything for anyone that I feel is willing to do the same for me. And when in love with someone, I tend to spoil a lot, so I won't stay single for long. You know what's funny? With me, at least, in the past 7 years 3 of my exes were, one still is as far as I know, trying to get back with me after they cheated in the past and were dumped like the trash they were. And I obviously rejected their offers, as I have no interest in what's in my past, nor I have any intent of giving them the future they destroyed with their own actions. Once something is over, it's over permanently. Comment 8. Congrats. You're kind of like me. I was so relieved when my ex cheated because I finally had the only reason I believe is okay for divorce, and that's cheating. I honestly can't say I was ever sad. I felt like a weight was lifted off my chest and I could breathe again. You'll find someone who you can picture yourself with now, and you'll think to yourself, I didn't even remember this is how a relationship was supposed to go. You're always going to struggle with the side effects of being cheated on, whether it's self-confidence, trust issues, separation anxiety, whatever, but it's only up from here. Beware though, I think it's just a woman thing, constantly blaming your partner's actions for why you act the way you act. I got yelled at for continuing a conversation on the phone last night. You know what she told me? I said, "Bye, gotta go." Damn, I didn't know you saying that out of the blue means I need to stop what I'm saying mid-sentence. She yelled at me to stop talking. I told her she was being rude. She told me it's my fault for not taking a hint. Hell, maybe I'm in the same cycle all over again now that I think of it. I hope not. Comment 9. Things are definitely ebbing and flowing. The roller coaster ride is far from over, and I understand that. But the general trajectory is favorable now, and there's more ugly shit in the rear view mirror than I knew there would be. And yes, I agree she's likely not a true narcissist. At least in the clinical sense, as far as I can tell. I really have no interest in diagnosing anything about her. But she definitely has narcissistic tendencies, and the more I detach, the more obvious they are. She was a selfless mother for the most part. She completely compartmentalized this whole affair so well that it's alarming. And there's more to the divorce story. I did get a favorable settlement, but due to some software errors at the state level, I had to get another full set of signatures after a month of her saying how much she regretted signing and how bad she wishes she ducked me over. That's a whole other post worth of shit and probably belongs in another sub. Comment 10. Everything you say here resonates with me, as our paths are eerily similar. I was married for 22 years and have 2 kids. I can only pray that I get to where you are now in your journey. I am having a hard time accepting all of this, even though the divorce is in process. This is inspirational beyond words. I thank you for that. Your 3rd and 5th paragraphs hit so hard it almost takes the wind from me. For me, it's been so hard to start recovering when my world was literally shattered from what seems out of nowhere. I find strength in this post. Thanks you for watching. Everyday new movies. See you soon.